What's up, guys? This is Astranox. Today I'm going to be talking about Solitaria of the Snow. She's ML Eda, right? She's got the staff floating behind her. The skill 1 animation is the same as Eda's skill number 2. Yeah, too many similarities, right? She's looking real dangerous. Said it in the past, and I'll say it again, and I'll tell you why she's going to be really dangerous and really annoying to fight against, and extremely cancerous in some certain situations. And you can be using her like in a cleave team, like a speed burst team, like you're trying to dish a lot of damage. You could have her in there. She's very flexible, like in what you can bring her in. Like you can run her with various different teams and she can just work. That's the thing. So Light Mage, Solitaria of the Snow, she does have health percentage for the other team members, for the Teamoid imprint, for the self imprint, its effectiveness, and this is a control hero, but she can do more than that. Like her multipliers, they're actually pretty high, surprisingly high actually. So there's a way. I really love the look of that level. There's some ways to dish some damage with this hero, but you want her to initiate, like you want her to be really fast, so you're probably not gonna have like attack buff on her, and you cannot use her seriously with like, you cannot rely on her to dish like big damage. Like it's not gonna be the case, but I'll tell you like ways that you could use her and put her to good use in a cleave or single target burst setup or something like that. So she's a light mage, Taurus star sign, and her attack is not so high. You can get more damage from the skill enhancements. Now, survivability wise, right, health and defense, she's a mage, so we can expect high defense, and that's the case. But together, the health and defense will make up for some pretty good survivability, on top of the fact that she gets stealth with skill 3, and that is a huge way to keep her in play. So 115 speed is very high, so that means you can stack a ton of speed on this hero, and she has 18% effectiveness from this the awakening, right, on top of effect resistance. So with the imprint concentration, that is already like a lot of effectiveness if you are heavily investing in this hero. Now she could potentially require gold transmit stone to get memory imprint for like Archdemon's Shadow, right? Because if it's not Eda, right, like there's Well of Light, there's Destina, like I feel like it's gonna be something like that. It could be Eda, or it could be they're going with the gold transmit stone route. So yes, if we get access to easy imprints for her, that's pretty cool, because those are two great imprints right there. But they're small increases of stats, so you don't need those things to make her shine and make to have a good team going. You don't need that stuff, guys. I'm not saying like you need to go crazy for that stuff. No, that's not the case. Okay, let's continue. So offensive wise, yeah, with the multipliers, it's quite interesting, right? I'll talk about them in a minute. So let's continue here. Be honest, her passive is extremely strong, because as long as she's alive on the battlefield, the enemy cannot get focus. Like, think about it. Seaside Bellona is a focus-based hero. Remnant Violet is focus-based. And these two heroes, they need their focus to, like, function properly. Like, Seaside, her passive will not be, triggering if she doesn't reach that 5 focus. And we all know how dangerous it is when she's on Rengar Special Drink. Even if she's super tanky, she's still dishing out that big damage. Now, Remnant Violet, like, if he doesn't get that focus to get that free Massacre, that's a huge part of his kit. So there's other focus-based heroes like Arbiter Veldred. He doesn't need it that bad, right? But yeah, very cool here. As long as she stays alive, and she's got that stealth on skill 3 as well to keep her in play, very cool. When the caster is buffed at the start of the turn, has a 100% chance after skill enhancements to grant Daydream for 1 turn. Now, Daydream is going to be a buff, I think it's going to be a buff that she cannot dispel. Like, there's a lot of heroes in the game that are getting like a self sort of like buff that cannot be dispelled. So also what that means is that it's not going to be the traditional buff. So that means you cannot use Daydream to activate Daydream again. Like, you cannot have that go. So if she's on speed and immunity set, which I feel is going to be the optimal setup for this hero, and you want to initiate with her, you want to go first and disrupt them. You want to stop them in their track, stop whatever they're trying to do. They're trying to outspeed you with that one hero, that series, Fairy Tail, Tenebria, whatever they're throwing at you. She's light element, so that's also really big, and you don't have to worry about elemental disadvantage, right? So Daydream is very, very strong because it inflicts a random debuff. Yes, it's random, but it's for one turn, and it cannot be dispelled. Like, those debuffs cannot be removed. That's huge. So you got decrease attack, you got decrease hit chance, and you got decrease speed and enable to be buff debuff. Now, it says Daydream cannot be dispelled. So is it the Daydream buff that cannot be dispelled, or is it that those debuffs cannot be dispelled? Yeah. Actually, it could be that the Daydream buff that she's getting cannot be dispelled, but those debuffs can be dispelled. It's confusing, but if it's good old like decrease attack, decrease hit chance, decrease speed, and able to buff debuff, those should be able to be dispelled. So that makes sense. I think that's more the way it should work. Let us know in the comment section what you think, but I feel like that's how it should be. Okay, now that's a passive. She's on the battlefield. The enemy cannot get focus. Now the Daydream can be activated pretty easily. Like, it activates with immunity set, and then whatever buff that you have. Maybe you have a barrier from Fallen Cecilia. Maybe you have someone in the team giving a buff. But then you have stealth. Stealth is a buff from her skill 3. So that's something that can activate Daydream again. Now the skill number 3. This is pretty intense because it decreases the enemy's buff duration by 1 turn. And the great thing is that it happens before attacking. So you don't have to worry about evasion-based heroes. That is huge. You can just have that happen. You can take off their immunity set that lasts 1 turn from the immunity set. And even if they have a Fallen Cecilia, that barrier will not protect it. You guys know how that works, right? And then it attacks, it deals damage, and the multiplier is actually fairly high on that. It's 355% multiplier. Yes, her attack is not that high, but with the skill enhancement, she can, you know, soften up that target. Now, you got stun. Stun is huge. Now, this is a single target attack, guys. And you might be confused, but it's a single target attack, so it might not seem that crazy of a hero, but everything together makes up for a pretty dangerous hero. So you remove their immunity, right? And all buff duration is reduced by 1 turn, unless it gets resisted. 15% innate resist, always something that we have to worry about. And then the stun is the same deal, but stun is a huge deal because they're losing their whole turn, and then they have to go again, build up their combativeness. Then you're pushing their combativeness by 30%. So even if, let's say, 15% innate resist happen on the stun, it gets resisted, right? You still have that chance to push back their combativeness by 30%. So you got that fail safe, and I like that, right? And you get stealth for 2 turns. Now, huge survivability increase. I don't need to explain it, but when you're in stealth, you're taking 50% less damage from an AoE attack, and that's huge. Especially if you have barrier, it's harder to break that barrier, and you stay in stealth if the barrier wasn't broken. Very powerful. Now, the Soulburn effect for 20 souls. She's a mage. She can carry Tagiel's Ancient Book, guys. So she could have the soul. She is self-sufficient. Now, extends the duration of the buff granted to the caster by this skill. So the stealth will be extended by 1 turn, and you are granted an extra turn. So you can do skill 3 into skill 1, and you've got the Daydream. So you've got a debuff that can potentially land. Decrease attack, decrease hit chance, decrease speed, enable to be buff debuff from the skill 3. And then you Soulburn into skill 1, and the skill 1 is crazy because that's a stun. That's dizzy, but that's light element, and she can be stealthed, and 115 speed, good survivability, pretty high because the defense is close to 700. So if you have the immunity set on her, you're gonna have high effective health, because together defense and health will make up for a high effective health pool. Unless you get defense broken, you could potentially build her with high effect resistance in different team compositions. That's one way to build her. She's already getting 18% from Awakening, so if they can't land defense break, it's going to be really hard to take her down as well, especially if you're supporting her, right? Like, you got Aureus, Adamant Shield, Defense buff, that stuff will make her for a really, really tanky Solitaria of the Snow. And then she's got Stealth as well. God, she's going to be annoying. Now the skill 1, this is a stun. AoE attack, guys, when it's her turn with a 25% chance to stun. Stun, like, you guys know, it's crazy powerful. So imagine that. She's a mage, she could have Abyssal Crown on herself. That's an additional chance to land a stun. Just insane. Insane, insane. And then when used on the caster's turn, it targets everyone. Like I said, it's an AoE. Her skill number 1 has a multiplier of 150%. So most heroes on a single target attack is 187%. 150 is pretty high considering it's an AoE with the debuffs from Daydream plus the stun to chance. That can definitely pack a punch, especially when the enemy doesn't have multiple layers of protection. If they're not running like, you know, Barrier, Aureus, Adamant Shield, defense buff, like she can definitely take a chunk out of their health pool. So something to watch out for. But if you trigger a duo attack or like a counter attack or something like that, it will not be an AoE attack, right? It's going to be a single target attack. So keep that in mind, guys. It's not like Dizzy. Dizzy can do an AoE no matter what, if it's a duo or counter attack. So 30% damage increase from the skill enhancement. But remember, we still have the Daydream, guys. The Daydream means it's an AoE attack, and you got a chance to, unless it gets resisted, of course, but it's gonna be, it's 100% chance, unless it gets resisted, to apply one of these debuffs, which are very strong. So, super powerful. Super powerful. And let's get this thing going here. So the animation seems to be like Eda, but yeah, Abyssal Crown is definitely gonna be a great one. Syra Ren, you can have, you know, Tagil's Ancient Book, she's self-sufficient. You could have Ayala's Valen. Now, if someone else has Tagil's Ancient Book in the team, right, that means you can even use her as a strip with Ayala's Valen. You know, it's not 100% chance, it's 80%, right? But it's still fairly reliable as a light elemental hero. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, let's go back here. So yeah, what do you guys think about this hero? Are you going to be pulling for her? You should wait for my showcase. I will be showcasing her. I'm not sure which account I'm going to pull her on. I said before I'm going to pull her on account number 2. Now I'm not 100% sure anymore. Arbiter Village is for account number 1. Her design's great. And yeah, I can't wait to see the memory imprint, how that's going to work. And the voice actress is the same as Eda, guys. Is Anne Yatko. Same for both, right? So if you were not sure, like, is she really ML Eda? Well, maybe that sort of like gives it away. So yeah, let us know what you guys think about this hero in the comments section. Let's have a discussion there. How do you plan on using this hero if you do have her, or maybe you don't have the resources to actually pull for this hero, but how do you feel like she could potentially be used? She's definitely going to be a great disruptor in almost any team composition, really, because if you build her like really fast and she's got the Tagil's Ancient Book, she's self-sufficient. Like, she initiates and she just disrupts. She does her stuff, and it's a chance for the stun on skill 1. But if you have Abyssal Crown, it's going to be real annoying. And if you have the Tagil's Ancient Book on someone else and you're getting the 20 souls somewhere else, then, you know, Abyssal Crown, Fire Ran could be quite devastating. And the damage could be there. As light elemental hero, maybe if you use her in a cleave, then you don't need that much speed, so that means you can pump the damage. And the effectiveness, well, you know, maybe you don't worry that much about it, right? And you focus more on the damage. Now, with Challenger Domino, that's the thing. With Challenger Domino, think about it. She initiates, she's the fastest one in your team with 115 base speed. And now she's skill 3. She uses skill 3 with the Tagil's Ancient Book. And that's one critical hit because you built her with 100% crit chance, right? To push Challenger Domino. And then she Soulburn into the skill 1. That is 5. 5 critical hits potentially, unless they evade, unless, you know, you don't land your crit. Challenger Domino goes second, pushes the rest of your team. The rest of your team, you know, just dishes a ton of damage. So she could soften up the enemy team if they don't have a barrier from Fallen Cecilia. Maybe she activates Elia's Knife as well. Now, she was able to go first. She's able to, let's jump to it. She's able to land one of these debuffs, right? She's stopping their gain of focus, which is all actually like something really annoying, is when you are running something like a challenge domino and you're trying to push her combationness, you're going to use an AoE on a hero with 100% crit chance, and then they're going to have like a C-side balloon, super tanky, but then you're stopping that focus to be gained on C-side. So that's huge right there. We have to not forget about that, because the rest of her kit is already like a powerhouse. It's really deadly, but then you add the fact that she's blocking focus gain. That's huge. And that stealth too, like she's got a way to survive. And a lot of heroes could be great, but they don't have that survivability increase, that mechanic part of their kit to bring there to, whatever, S tier, a hero that is going to be dangerous, a hero that is going to get banned in RTA because they're that dangerous, something like that. So I feel like overall this hero is a hero to watch out for, and a hero that can definitely turn the tide of the battle. And she sets up the rest of the team nicely, and if she pushes back the combationness, she stuns, push back the combationness, either one of them on a hero that is, let's say, their combationness booster, on a hero that is the hero that they rely on to remove your immunity, right? Let's say you stop that series from going, you stop whatever they're trying to go first with, like a Fairy Tail Tenebris, a hero that will set up the rest of the team. If you stop that and you push back their combationness, like, that's not part of their combo anymore, and that might change the whole, that it's gonna throw their plan out the window, and that is huge. So I'll showcase this hero, I'll give you guys more thoughts as I do that. Really excited about this hero's kit. On paper it might look good, maybe in practice it's not that good, but it's looking really good. It's really good and really deadly. So man, let us know what you guys think about her in the comments section. Are you going to be pulling for her? How are you going to be using her? How are you going to build this hero? But yeah, that's it for this one. I'm Astranox, and if you're looking for an emulator to play Apex 7 or other mobile games, then the one that I use personally is in the description of the video, and you've got the instruction on how to install it properly in the link as well. So check it out. But yeah, that's it for this one. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all you do. Peace out for now.